Good morning, gardening friends. Happy first Sunday of Advent. Advent officially starts today. The countdown till Christmas. It is a rainy day here in my Zone 9A garden. We're going to take a brief walk outside just to get to the garçonniere. I have been cooped up inside, decorating for Christmas. The rains could not have come at a better time. So far, we've had one full rain gauge, 6 inches, plus whatever is on the deck. In my rain gauge, which we'll see when we go out to the garçonniere. So 6 inches so far in the last couple of days. We do need it. I think this will take us out of our deficit of rain. In here, I moved my apple blossom, one of them, to a more prominent spot to enjoy it. That was the one I showed you last week. And the other exciting news was the other one has started to bloom. And I'll probably flip-flop it and put that one there now. So this one has been in bloom for a week. It's starting to sag a little bit, but it's still looking pretty. I'll move the other one back up there eventually. I do have to put these stakes on them when they get real, when they bloom as many blooms as this has 5 blooms on it. They get top heavy and will topple themselves over out of the pot. So I have to have a stake on it. I also have my paper whites, not the most prime example, but there they are. They are in bloom, smelling up the front porch. And you can see that they have gone floppy on me. They typically do if they're a little too warm. And needless to say, they were a little bit too warm this year. So the first batch is kind of a flop, but it still smells nice. And I will plant them outside. By the way, I will also plant the amaryllis outside. They will survive and come back again. You can see I also got a couple of poinsettias here in readiness for Christmas. And I also have repotted one of my African violets, this small one in front. That was the one that used to be in my den, and it was a huge plant, but I overwatered it. I had put it in a plastic catch basin, I guess you'd call it, tray. And it overfilled one time, and I accidentally left it like that for a week. And 1 week was enough to cause the plant to start to wither. So I figured, well, let me repot it. It probably has some dead roots. And when I repotted it, I realized it had withered right at the soil surface. So it basically just killed itself for all intents and purposes. So I snapped it off and cut off a lot of the outside leaves, which left me a longer stem, and I just stuck it in the dirt. So it should grow. We shall see. We'll follow its progress. Other than that, trying to think, we'll do other things. I did prepare a little bit, part of the learning about gardening, since we can't actually go outside in the rain. I started telling you last week about the different types of Christmas and Thanksgiving cactus. Well, my Thanksgiving cactus has now just about bloomed out. There's one more bloom to come. But I told you that the Thanksgiving cactus has the little pointed tips, and the Christmas cactus has the rounded tips. And let's see, I have to have my reading glasses for this. Here's what I was able to scrape up on the internet. It was not easy. You have to know your sources. Thanksgiving cactus, the one with the points, is also known as false Christmas cactus. It is classified as Schlumbergia, Schlumbergera, Schlumbergera truncata. It was discovered in 1819 in southeast Brazil, in Rio, by Charles Lemaire, one of the French expeditions. About the same time they discovered the, I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's out near the Garçonniere. But be that as it may, it was discovered in 1819, but it was renamed in 1958 after Schlumberger. He was a cactus collector, and they wanted to honor him, so they named it in his name. Christmas cactus is Schlumbergera bucklei, and it was actually produced in the 1890s by William Buckley. So it's a hybrid. It does not exist in nature. So there you have the little history lesson of the two types of cactus. Oh, by the way, they are also called informally zygocactus. So sometimes you might see in stores they're called zygocactus. Well, it's not strictly speaking correct, but there you have it, a little history on those two. Throw my notes down, get my glasses off. Oh, there's my other batch of paperwhites waiting to come up. So let's take a walk inside to start. I've got my wreaths up. Christmas wreaths, that is. Put the wreaths up on the doors. I decided, of course, to put the Christmas tree there. Put it together yesterday, fluffed it out. Got it down from the attic, which is always a pain. And it looks pretty good. I've decided to leave the little Chinese bench there. I did also put these little candle wreaths in all of my chandeliers, which was actually more of a pain than I had anticipated because my chandeliers needed cleaning. So there I was cleaning my chandeliers of dust, putting those in. I did cut them to slide them around the candles, but you'll see I have them on all of my candles. I kind of like those. I brought out my cross for the corner. This is a mix of high and low. I think I paid a grand total of $3. That's a cardboard box that a cross from somewhere in Central America was apparently shipped to the U.S. in that box. And I saw that at an antique shop and thought, how pretty. Be nice for Christmas. Here I did the mantle. I tried something new this year. I put this swag there. It is lit. I got it from Hobby Lobby. Ooh, was that a pain in the butt going in there. I went in there on Cyber Monday last week. And in any event, it's timed, so it comes on. It's battery operated. And I put my nutcrackers here, which I do every year, and found some walnuts. I had to hunt to many stores, I think 4 stores, till I finally found them at the greengrocer at the bottom of the hill. Here's a close-up of the little candle wreaths that I was telling you about. Got a few little picks here in the hallway. I decorate in layers. I brought in my desert rose because it's wintered over here once before, but I'm not certain I'm going to keep it there. Got a little wreath hanging over the bed. And this is a new find this year, my little topiary. I got a great deal on it, probably because it was the only one. And I got my little cherub candlesticks this week. I had been eyeing those. They're bronze candlesticks on a green marble base. Found them in an antique shop. So much more decorating to go. The Christmas quilt is on the bed. I should point that out. I get that down once a year. I keep my quilts stacked neatly in a pile up there, which you may think looks nice, and it does, I think, but it's a pain in the butt to maintain because you have to very carefully arrange each quilt. That's one of the problems when you have a small house like mine, but a lot of stuff. You have to figure out how to arrange stuff because you don't have a storage place to just sort of stick it. My storage place used to be the garage, but since it turned into the Garçonniere, it's not available for just storage anymore. That's my Christmas quilt I got many years ago. And there's Miss Mimi sleeping. She's staying warm because it's cool outside. It's in the 50s. Are you sleeping, Miss Mimi? Yeah. I'd run around and show you her face, but I'll make you dizzy if I run around too much. Another poinsettia. Haven't done too much in this room yet. This is the African violet that I got. I think I told you Lowe's got a shipment in, so I went ahead and bought a nice one. And I see there's some gnats on that, as well as I just potted it yesterday. I have some dirt on the leaves. I'll have to spray my gnat spray on that. That is the problem when you bring things in from a store. You never know what little goodies are going to be on the plant. Fortunately, in this room, there's not much else they can get on. Not much touches the mother-in-law's tongue. Oh, the little orchid is still doing fine here. Hasn't lost any more flowers. Oh, I didn't show you the orchid in the front porch. Well, I showed it to you, but I didn't point it out. The flowers fell off last week, possibly because of a heat treatment. But the plant is still doing well. Let's take a closer look at it. It still has a couple of buds on the tip of the branch yet. Oh, while I'm here, the other news this week. The lady across the street took out a big tree. There used to be a huge tree over there that loomed over her house, and if it fell, it would have loomed over my house. She also limbed up the cherry laurel on that side, so now I get a better view of the street, but only when I stand here. And they were around yesterday planting some shrubberies around the front of their house, so it's going to be nice. That house has been vacant for a year so far. Okay, let's make a mad dash towards the garage, or the garçonniere. I don't think it's raining that badly outside. Oh, here's the dining room is presenting. Oh, there's some more of those little candle things that I put on my chandeliers. I'm not certain yet. That's why it isn't up. Today I'll make that decision. This is where I typically keep the Christmas tree, but it could just as easily be over here. That aspidistra could go outside. It's not what's the right word? It's not a delicate plant. I've got them growing in the yard, so it can take cold and weather. So I may flip-flop that and put the spathiphyllum that you don't see here. I may put it over here. In my decorating for Christmas, clocks take first preference because I will not move a clock for a Christmas decoration. The other thing is my live plants need to be near a window, someplace where they will survive, because Christmas will come and go, but my live plants will stay with me. So I haven't quite decided yet. That's why the tree isn't. I've got a small tree that'll go there. By the way, I priced a small tree at Lowe's. It was about 4 feet tall, and they wanted $29 for a live tree. I was thinking of getting a live tree for that spot. Not for that much. Christmas has gotten expensive. Here's a Thanksgiving cactus in full bloom. This one and this one. These bloom reliably here every year. I don't really do anything to them but water them once a week. This is an orchid cactus. It'll bloom around Easter time. Okay, let's take a walk out to the garçonniere. I do want to give an honorable mention while we go to the Golden Chalice Vine. I've started out this video with a picture I took earlier this week when it was white. Unfortunately, it's been raining ever since it bloomed, and it's taken all year to get a bloom, and it looks beat to heck and back, but it is what it is. I have one more bud coming, but it's called a Golden Chalice Vine. You can see it's raining here. I've got my hand over the camera a little bit. It's not raining too bad. There you can see the angel's trumpets are definitely coming back. Be careful walking down this slope here. Still have the ligularia in bloom, the yellow. I can't point with the other hand here. And you can see the top of my nut tree over there, the pecan. It's filled that corner out nicely. I didn't bother bringing that cushion in. It was an odd lot cushion. I got it at the end of the season, and I was going to get rid of it. And I got to thinking, well, the poor cats can at least use it. So I put it out here for the cats to use. Hello. Ooh, it's nice and warm in here. I turned the heater on earlier today. Here's what I was telling you about the Spathiphyllum swallowing up this room. And in past, I didn't care. For the last 10 years, this room has been a catch-all. But it's just a little too big for that spot. And now that I'm using this room, I think I will put that back into the dining room. Here you can see the amaryllis is starting to bloom here. Considering I just potted it about a week ago or 2 weeks ago. This one was the one that was not refrigerated. Those two were ones I had refrigerated. They were all the same Red Lion bulbs from Lowe's. I just got these two earlier. I like to, when I look for bulbs at Lowe's, when I get there early, I like to get there as soon as the bulbs come in, because if you see 2 points, if you know what you're looking for, you'll get 2 blossoms here and 2 blossoms there, just like this one has 2 blossoms. Not all of them have the double blossom. So I like to look through the bulbs. People probably think I'm crazy because I'll take the whole crate and dig through them. Let's see what else happened out here this week. I did finally get gliders for the bottom of that chair so they don't wake the dead when that thing moves. I did get something from Walmart. Oh, I have also the big thing. I've been deciding what to do inside this closet. This is going to be the space where I put my plants when I bring them in. So I need something that is a durable, wipeable surface. And I have decided that come the new year, I'm going to get my carpenter back, / painter, and I'm going to have him put in a chair rail of beadboard. I already have beadboard here. It's in the shelving as a backdrop to the shelving. So I want to put that same beadboard as a chair rail all around the bottom of this room. And that way, when I bring in plants, I don't have to worry about leaves or whatever getting on the wall and leaving marks. And the other added plus is I have some extra paintings, not very good ones, but I like them. And I'd like to have a chair rail with a little shelf on this side so that I can stack the paintings against the wall. And I already told you this is going away. I'm going to put a rod at the end. If you wonder what the clothes hanging there are, is that shirt needs ironing. That's typically where I put stuff for ironing. Speaking of ironing, pay no attention to the rag hanging here. I got a new ironing board cover. Yay! And it looks so good, I decided to get me a new ironing board. So those of you in the neighborhood saw my old ironing board I put out by the street. I hadn't bought an ironing board in ages. And let me tell you, I mean, we're talking, 50 years ago when I bought my ironing board? It was heavy. This is about 1/3 of the weight. And the nice thing is this one will hang flat. So my intent is to get a hanger and put it under the rod that I'm going to be putting in. So there'll be a rod from wall to wall for occasional clothing. Those shelves will still be there for long-term storage of stuff that doesn't go mildew. And we'll hang this on the wall. So that way it'll free up the whole entryway here. And that will allow me to put plants in here when the time comes. I'm also going to get a new light, and I'm going to get an extension, a socket put in that back corner. This cooler is my emergency cooler. It, in case the refrigerator should die or we should lose power, it has a cord where I can plug that cooler into my car battery. And for those of you that have been with me for a while, you know that I get a drug infusion every 2 weeks, and I have to keep that drug cool. And so in case of power outage, I've got an alternate place to store it. The other thing I did buy, remember a couple of weeks ago I told you about my checkers set on this storage unit. You can find anything online. That was the one thing that COVID taught me, was you can buy anything online. I bought this checker box and went online, and sure enough, you can buy checker pieces. So I got a set of checkers. So I am equipped now, fully equipped. Let's see, the only other purchase I got was this week, was a hip flask with a little peach schnapps in it. My grandmother always used, the one that gardened, always used to like peach schnapps. I remember she came to visit me when I was living in my first home in Delaware, and I gave her a little bit of peach schnapps in a liqueur glass. That's after my parents had left. They were going shopping for something. And my grandmother asked me, "You don't have any bigger glasses than this?" So I love peach schnapps. I can't really drink alcohol all that well with my medication, but a sip or two, strictly for medicinal purposes, I keep it out here. And there you see the African violet that I got last week. But yeah, so things are moving along. A lot of decisions are being made. Not a lot of gardening, but then this is the time of the year when you don't really do a lot of gardening, except enjoy, since I really do have a winter garden. You can see the bananas are starting to come back with some green. But there you have it for today. We'll leave you here and call it because of rain. Actually, let's try and take one last look out to my Yuletide camellia. I haven't given it a fair shake this year because it's never really been blooming at the right time. And just in case the camera gets wet, we can end with that. But it is the time of the year to enjoy camellias, even in the rain. Well, I brought you out here for not much, but there's Yuletide. They're getting rather soggy over here. They still have some more buds. Well, it's not going to get a fair shake this year. That's as good as it's going to get. But I hope you all will be able to get out in your gardens and enjoy them. Here it's been chilly. It's been in the 50s. It's probably about 55 right now, and having the heat on. That's why Miss Mimi is snuggling in bed under her quilt. So, I wish you all a great Advent week, and I will see you next week, same time.